Good morning, dear students. So today we will be discussing about a new chapter known as nutrition. Okay, so this is class 9 and we are following conscious biology, and the chapter is chapter number 10, that is nutrition in general. What do we mean by nutrition in general and what we will be studying about this particular chapter. So quickly coming on to the overview, we will be following this book, but coming on to the overview, what does nutrition means? See, the food we consume, any of the food that we consume, it gives us a particular amount of nutrients in our body, and we will be studying and discussing about these particular nutrients. What are the deficiency diseases that are caused due to lack of these particular nutrients, and what do we mean by nutrition in general. This is a very easy chapter. There is nothing much conceptual or much logical about this, but yet we will be studying about this chapter in detail. So I am following your book, that is this one, Conscious Biology, class 9, coming to the chapter of nutrition in general. So student, please open your book, page number 96. Okay. So nutrition in general, the term nutrition, food and diet. So what do we mean by nutrition, what do we mean by food, and what is diet? See, food is anything that we consume which have a beneficial which have a beneficial effect in our body. Okay, that is food. Now what is diet? The food that we are consuming in, say, our lunch, in our breakfast, in our dinner, okay, that must be or that should be with a proper diet. That is known as diet. Coming to your book, nutrition means supply of essential organic and inorganic chemical compounds. So chemical compounds includes proteins, vitamins, salts, etc. to the body. All such chemical compounds are known as nutrients. So nutrients are nothing but the chemical compounds. Now food is any substance which we eat or drink and which contains the nutrients. So definitely each and every food, whatever you consume, it does contains the particular nutrient amount. It may be less, it may be more, it may be harmful, it may not be harmful, it may be beneficial, it may not be beneficial, but it contains a particular nutrients value in our body. So nutrition means supply of essential organic and inorganic chemical compounds, and food is any substance which we eat or drink and which contains the nutrients. Example, milk, bread, egg, fish, apple, and anything, any of the food that you eat. Diet is a combination of food item which we eat in our meal, that I have already told you. A balanced diet, see, what is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is very much essential. A balanced diet consists of all the particular vitamins, minerals in a fixed and proportionate quantity. Okay, so as per your book, a balanced diet is one which contains all the principal constituent of the food in proper quantity for a particular person. A balanced diet of a particular person depends on 4 factors. See, what are the factors of balanced diet? I am just making a brief so that you can understand. This is the chapter nutrition. So balanced diet. Now balanced diet depends on number 1, age. Number 2, the second point is the sex of the individual. Now I will be discussing this point, okay, don't worry, just quickly look whatever I am telling. Okay, the third point is lifestyle, and the fourth point or the last point is special need. Now what are these point means, or what do we understand by these particular points? See, now balanced diet, whatever be the balanced diet of a particular person, that will depend on what is the age of that particular person. For example, a growing child needs more proteins, more vitamins in our body. The person who for example our grandfather or our grandparents, they need more roughage in their body, in the particular body. So it depends upon this particular point, age. Now what is The sex of the individual, see, a male needs a particular type of diet, whereas a female need another particular of diet. So it depends on this particular point, sex of the individual. The third one is the lifestyle. For example, see, a person who is working, a person who works in a corporate world, okay, so that person will be just sitting in front of computer, and or say that person does a desk work, so he will be sitting in front of a desk and doing all the work. There the physical loss of the nutrients of the body is very much less, so that particular person will be needing less amount of nutrients, proteins, etc. Whereas a person who is, for example, a labor or a rickshaw puller, that person does a much more of physical work, right? So that person will be needing more amount of nutrients in his particular body. Now this depends on the work or on the particular lifestyle of the person. And the fourth one, that is special need. Now what do you mean by special need? Special need means that, say, particularly a person who is lacking protein, that particular person is very thin, he is lacking fat, okay, now that particular person need specially added foods which are huge or high in quantity of fat, or say in proteins, okay. Now it depends upon this particular thing. Meals is the food taken at one time to satisfy the appetite, okay. Now there is another difference between what is appetite and what is meal. So these are 2 points, okay. Now what are appetite? Can you say what are appetites? See, appetite means the desire to have food, okay. Now say for example, I am saying you all, for example, you are going through the road, okay, you are coming to school or you are going back from the school. Now in a particular place you will find, suppose there is a biryani shop over there, okay, and you are getting that particular smell, so you will think that oh shit, we should if it is possible to have that particular biryani. So or you went to a mall, okay, you went to a mall for say for shopping, and you went near the food court, we get a particular smell, so we get a desire to have that food, okay. Whether our body needs or does not need, it doesn't depend on that, but we desire to get that particular food in our body. Now that is known as appetite. And what is meal? Meal is the appetite that we consume for our body, for the beneficial of our body. Now generally in India we consume twice meal, okay, one is in the lunch, another one is in the dinner, clear? So moving on, meal is a fixed food taken at one time to satisfy the appetite. Appetite means the desire to eat, while hunger is the uneasy sensation due to lack of food. See, the moment you are hungry, that is your body needs food, but the appetite is your desire to have food, but your body is not hungry at all. For example, you came to the school after, say, during your tiffin time, you have your tiffin, okay, your body is full, but after that you get a smell of biryani. See, biryani is my favorite food, so after that you get a smell of biryani, so what happens? You will be like, oh my god, perhaps I could have at least little bit of biryani. So that is appetite, but not hunger, okay. So moving on, what is the need of nutrition? See, need of nutrition, it is a very easy thing. What are the needs of nutrition? Now these are the points that you can easily like if I ask you, you can easily tell me that what is the need of nutrition. Yet I am making a point, so please note down in your copy. Number one is growth. Definitely we need nutrition for our growth. Without proper nutrition we will not be able to grow, right? So it is for growth. Number two is for repair. Now what does repair means? Repair means is that the repair of the worn out tissues. for example, say you have fallen down from the stairs and you have torn your particular one ligament, so you will be needing more amount of proteins in your body, so that is known as for repair. Okay, the third point is for energy. Now we all know that food gives us energy. Now the fourth point is for maintenance. Now fifth point is for provision of raw material. Now I am coming to this point. Okay, and the sixth point is protection. So quickly look into this particular points. Okay, the first point is growth, second one is repair. See, growth, repair, energy, these 3 points are very much clear to you all, right? These 3 points are very much clear to you all, nothing to explain of this. But now what is the point number 4? That is maintenance. Maintenance of chemical compositions of the cell. See, we all know that our cells are made up of chemical compositions. It is very clear, we have already went to the chapter cells for several of times. In class 8, in class 6 you have went for the first time for the chapter cell. Now after that you have went for cell in very previous chapters, probably in 9 also you have went to the chapter cell. So for chemical composition, maintenance of chemical compositions, so for maintenance of chemical compositions you need this particular nutrition. Now the next point is provision for raw materials for the manufacture of various secretions such as enzymes, hormones, sweat, milk, etc. So provision of raw materials is for the the enzymes that we secrete, okay, the hormones that we secrete, all of the things, all of these particular things are made up of this nutrition. It all comes from nutrition. Okay, so it is a provision for raw material. And the fourth point is very easy, that is protection. Protection, you all know that to protect our body from diseases and from infections. Now we will be moving forward to classes of nutrients, food and substance. Okay, so what are the classes of nutrients, food and substance? The first point is carbohydrates. See, okay, I am rubbing this one, so for you need to copy it, you can pause this particular lecture and you can get anything. Okay, now food. So if we classify food, we will be getting particularly 6 classes of food. What are they? Number 1, carbohydrates. Number 2, we will be getting fats. Number 3, we will be getting proteins. On the fourth point, we have minerals. Salts. On the fifth point, we will be getting vitamins. On the sixth point, that is last point, we will be getting water. So we can classify particularly food into these particular 6 points. What are they? Number 1 is carbohydrate, number 2 fat, number 3 protein, number 4 minerals and salts, number 5 vitamins, and number 6 is water. So we can get these particularly 6 classes of food. We will be studying in details about this particular 6 classes. Okay, so students, please follow your book so that you can get a very brief idea of whatever it is available or present in this particular chapter, nutrition. There are 6 classes of food substance called nutrients. They are carbohydrate, fat, protein, minerals, salts, vitamins and water. Okay, now the first one is carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are compounds of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, with hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio of 2:1. So what does carbohydrates made up of? They are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, and one more thing is the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, 2:1. Okay, so this is very important. They are oxidized in the cells to release energy. So carbohydrates basically gives us energy. Okay, carbohydrate includes sugar, starch, cellulose, etc. So what are the types of carbohydrate? They are sugar, starch, cellulose, etc. They gives us carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates are the principal energy source of the body. Okay, so the main particular energy which we get from our food is from this particular class carbohydrate. Okay, so please do not forget this particular point. We get our particular things from this energy from carbohydrate. Now sugar are soluble in water and taste sweets. We all know what is the taste of sugar. Broadly, sugar in our body are of two major categories. So broadly in our body, sugars are of two major categories. What are they? Number one is monosaccharides and number two is disaccharides. Now students, how you are going to study this? You are going to study what is the chemical formula of monosaccharide, what is the chemical formula of disaccharide, and what are the types of monosaccharide and what are the types of disaccharides. Okay, this is all you need to study from this particular part. So monosaccharides are single or simple sugar with a general chemical formula C6H12O6. Okay, these needs no digestion and are straight away absorbed into our blood. Three types of such simple sugars are glucose, fructose and galactose. See, the main difference between monosaccharides and disaccharide sugars, what are they? Monosaccharide sugars needs no further digestion in our body. It gets directly mixed with the blood and gives energy to the particular cells. Blood carry out these particular monosaccharides from our stomach to the various part of the body, to the various cells of the body. Okay, this is what monosaccharide is. Now monosaccharides are of three types. What are they? The number one is glucose, number two is fructose and number three is galactose. Okay, now glucose we all know, right? We all know because we drink Glucon-D. We mix Glucon-D powder with with water and we drink it. See, we are say playing in the ground with sun over our head. We came to our home, we are completely exhausted. What we do is we tell our mother or our parents to just make Glucon-D and we drink it. Now what happens? We drink it, we get refreshed. Why? Because particular Glucon-D consists of glucose. Okay, it is a simple monosaccharide sugar. So whenever we drink glucose, it directly goes to our stomach and from them it directly get absorbed by the blood, which gives a quick release of this particular energy in our body and we feel refreshed. Okay, but on that thing, if say we came to our house and we take some of the sugars from the kitchen and eat that, see, for that you will not get instant energy. Okay, all the drinks that are available in the market which are glucose in nature, these all are glucose manufactured, these all are monosaccharide sugars. They are all made up of monosaccharide sugars. Okay, now glucose, popularly known as grape sugar, is the most common and simplest sugar found in organism. When we say blood sugar, it means the glucose level in our blood. 1 mole of glucose release 868 kilocalories of energy. Now this please remember. Okay, second one is fructose. Fructose is common in plants and is popularly called fruit sugar. See, glucose is grape sugar, fructose is fruit sugar. Galactose is another simple sugar found in milk. So for the babies or for the infants, if you have any of the infants in your house or in your home, you will found that there is a particular whatever they eat, the particular milk, whatever they eat, that it is written there galactose. Okay, So this particular galactose is found in milk. Coming to the second point, disaccharides. Disaccharides of double sugars have a general chemical formula C12H22O11. They require digestion to get absorbed in the body. The three types of double sugars are sucrose, maltose and lactose. Sucrose is our commercial sugar. It is commonly obtained from sugarcane in our country. Another source of sucrose is sugar beet. Sucrose is a double sugar made up of two simple sugars, glucose and fructose. Now sucrose is made up of glucose and fructose. Okay, I guess one of you have a question and you have asked me that whether during respiration it is the breakdown of the glucose or breakdown of the sucrose. So definitely it is the breakdown of glucose, not the sucrose, because sucrose cannot directly enter our cell. It gets into our stomach, it gets digested by our body, breakdowns into glucose, and then it comes to our particular blood cell bloods, and it gets into our cell. So during respiration it is only glucose but not sucrose. Okay, am I clear? Now moving forward, maltose is malt sugar made up of two glucose molecules, and lactose or milk sugar made up of glucose and galactose. Okay, now starch. So these we have completed with the part of sugar. I hope there is no further doubts of this particular sugar. We will be now moving forward to starch. Starch is an insoluble carbohydrate. It is in the form that plants commonly store carbohydrates. Okay, potatoes, grains, rice, maize, wheat and barley and bread are chief source of starch. The starch has a chemical formula of C6H10O5 whole N. I am writing over here. Okay, so starch, what is the chemical formula? It is C6H10O5 and this whole to the power n. Now n can be any number depending on the particular type of food that we are having. Okay, the starch has a chemical formula of C6H10O5 whole N and is called a polysaccharide. Okay, starch is known as polysaccharide. Why polysaccharides? See, monosaccharides means only one molecule of this particular starch, but starch generally occurs in a polysaccharides. Poly means multiple or many. Okay, now the two other insoluble polysaccharides carbohydrates are cellulose and glycogen. Cellulose is found in the cell wall of plant. It is not used by our body and remain undigested, but it contributes in providing roughage for proper functioning of the gut. And glycogen is the form in which carbohydrates are stored in animal, majorly in liver and some in muscles. Okay, so this completes for the particular part starch. Now we will be going to the second point, but before that, roughage. What do you mean by roughage? You have any idea what is roughage? See, for example, in our daily food, okay, what we consume? We consume, say particularly we consume in Bengali we call it as shak, okay, or say barley, we consume that. So what happens? Or spinach that we consume, what happens? Does that get particularly digested in our body? No, not at all, because our particular organ appendix is not functioning at all. Okay, it functions in the animals but not in humans, so it is incapable of digesting this particular roughage. Now you will be asking me, sir, if a particular food is not digested in our body, then why we will be eating that? Yes, because my dear students, we will be eating that for the proper movement of our bowels from the body, or for the gut movement. Okay, it is needed so that the waste products can get easily moved out from this particular body. What are the sources of roughage? Vegetable food, corn, half crust wheat, that is dalia, are chief sources of roughage in our food. Cabbage is one vegetable which provides a lot of roughage. Now all of you, I guess, have eaten roughages or have eaten cabbages rather specifically, right? So the second point, we will be going to fats. Fats are composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen content in these nutrients is much less. they produce more energy than carbohydrate do. 1 mole of fat release 9.45 kilocalories of energy. Okay, now for glucose, it is 1 mole of glucose release 686 kilocalories of energy, and it is 9.45 kilocalorie of energy. But fat, 1 mole of fat produce much amount of energy. Common foods rich in fats are butter, clarified butter, that is ghee, cheese, vegetable oils, beef and fish liver oils. Fats and oils are made up of fatty acid and glycerol. So fats are made up of fatty acid and glycerols. Now this is another part. Okay, now fats are made up of fatty acids and glycerols. Functions of fat. What are the functions of fat? See, please look into this book. Number 1, fat produces energy in the body like carbohydrates. Number 2, it is the important storage form of food. Number 3, it serves as a solvent for fat soluble vitamins. Number 4, fat under the skin protects the body against rapid loss of heat, or it provides us insulations. Okay, now we will be moving to the third point, that is proteins. Proteins is very much important. Okay, we will be studying about this particular point, protein. So what do you understand by proteins? See, proteins are large chemical molecules. They contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Nitrogen is the most essential elements in protein. Some proteins may also contain sulfur and phosphorus. Amino acids are simple smaller unit of proteins. Okay, so proteins are large chemical molecules. They contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen is the most essential element in proteins. Proteins are large chemical molecules. They contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, right? So these are the particular thing which are contained in the protein. Nitrogen is most essential elements in protein. Why? See, protein is made up of these particular compounds. Among that, nitrogen is one of the very much important substance which is present in protein. Some protein may also contain sulfur and phosphorus. Okay, some of the proteins may also contain sulfur and phosphorus. Amino acids are simple smaller units of proteins. So to classify proteins, we will be remembering about the term amino acid. So what is amino acid? Amino acid is a form of protein. Proteins provides chemical material for growth and repair of body cells and tissues. In the time of emergency, they may also be oxidized to release energy. So during emergencies, what our body do? Our body release this particular chemical materials for growth and repair of body cells, and in during emergency they may also get oxidized to release energy. See, what happens is that during particular emergency in our body, when we need much amount of energy and we do not have that particular energy stored in fat or in say glucose or in carbohydrates, we do not have that in our body. What happens? Our body need to survive, right? So for that particular thing, what they do is they break down this particular protein, amino acid, and release energy. Okay, now food rich in protein includes lean meat, fish, egg, milk, cheese, nuts, beans, peas, etc. We all know that what are the important thing or what are the sources of proteins. We all know this from class 5 or class 6. Food rich in protein, deficiency of protein leads to weakness, but its severe deficiency causes two diseases. What are they? One is kwashiorkor and another one is marasmus. So kwashiorkor and marasmus are two type of disease which are caused due to lack of protein in our body. Okay, now we will be studying of this particular two disease. So student, please do remember about these two disease, because questions will be going to come directly. What are the deficiency disease of caused due to lack of protein, and explain them. Okay, kwashiorkor, in Hindi we call it as sukha rog. It is a severe protein deficiency disease usually affecting young children. The disease is caused when mothers stop breastfeeding the babies at an early age and the child is given a diet poor in proteins. Mother milk is rich in protein and after weaning the child is given a diet mainly consisting of carbohydrates and poor in protein. The suffering child may die before the age of 5 years. So it is a very serious disease. Symptoms of quasicus, what are they? Number one, the particular child will be underweight, belly protruding out, skin getting dark and scary, stunted growth, loss of appetite, repeated diarrhea, enlarged liver and anemia, oedemia or swelling of the feet and the face due to accumulation of water in the tissue of the feet and the face. Okay. So what are its control and treatment? Definitely control and treatment should consist of a diet which is rich in protein. The child suffering from quasicus should be given a protein rich diet consisting of pulse, milk, egg, fish and meat. A mixed diet of wheat, gram, peanut, soya bean and jaggery is also useful. So the name quasicor is an African term which means the sickness of the child gets when a new baby comes. This is so because the elder child source of protein or mother's milk is no longer available, and now he is usually fed on starchy diet consisting of mostly of fruits and vegetables. So this is the particular disease quasicor. The second one is marasmus. We will be studying about this. Marasmus usually affect infants below the age of 1 year and is due to the deficiency of carbohydrates, fats and proteins in the diet. This disease is caused due to the sudden stoppage of breastfeeding followed by a diet poor in energy giving food like carbohydrate, fats and protein. So this is also a particular same type of disease which is caused due to lack of proteins. Okay. Symptoms: less body weight, degeneration resulting in very weak body as if formed from muscles, skins and bones only. Okay. Third one, skin becomes loosely folded, thin faces, thinning of limbs, retarded physical and mental growth, ribs appearing prominent. Now see, there is a photo given, figure 10.1, a child suffering from marasmus. You can see how pathetic or how scary this disease is. There is a difference between quasicor and marasmus. Please go through it. There is nothing as such. If you go through it, you can clearly understand that. Now, what is the control and treatment? The child suffering from marasmus should be given a diet rich in protein and carbohydrate. Okay. So we will be going to the fourth point, that is minerals and salts. See, minerals and salts is very easy. We can understand by the name itself. It consists of the essential minerals and salts. Minerals and salts are needed in the diet in small quantities. Table salts contains mainly sodium chloride. Many other minerals elements are obtained from various foodstuffs such as green vegetables and fruits. Some important minerals elements and their nutrients values are as follows. Calcium and phosphorus help in strengthening of the bones and teeth. See students, so how this question is going to come from this particular place? It is going to come that what are the useful of say calcium or what is the useful of phosphorus. So direct question is going to come from this particular part or from this particular portion of your book or the syllabus. Okay. So whatever I am teaching here, please follow this, because see, whenever I am teaching this any particular chapter, I am going through this particular important part of this chapter as well as how questions are going to come from this chapter, right? So if you thoroughly go to this video along with the book in your hand, following that too, I guess you will have no problem in your at least biology examination, be it boards or be it school examination. Okay, so please follow. Calcium and phosphorus helps in strengthening the bones and teeth. Calcium is also required in the process of clotting of blood. Phosphorus is required in various chemical processes as in production of chemical energy, that is ATP, during cell respiration. Rich sources, from where do we get that? Milk, meat, egg, fish, pulses, vegetable, etc. Now iron. Iron has a role in formation of hemoglobin. Its deficiency leads to anemia. Sources are what? Green leafy vegetables, livers, etc. Now what is hemoglobin? You all know that hemoglobin is present in our blood, right? It is the hemoglobin. Hemo means iron. Okay. Iodine. Iodine is required for proper burning of thyroid. Its deficiency leads to goiter. Sources, what are they? Vegetable, minerals, water. Potassium and sodium are needed for cell permeability, especially in nerve cells. Sources are most food and table salts. Now see, there is a table 10.2. This is very important. Please mark in your book. This table is very important because the sources, functions, deficiency, diseases, or the elements, these all are going to come. Now one is macronutrients, another is micronutrients. What are they? Macronutrients are needed in our body in a very large quantity, whereas micronutrients are needed in a smaller quantity in our body, but all the things are very much needed and are contained in a balanced diet, in a proper balanced diet. Okay. So number 5 point, the fifth point is vitamins. Vitamins are chemical substances needed in minute amounts which helps in maintaining a healthy body. Most vitamins acts as catalysts or enzymes in essential chemical changes in the body, but each vitamin also has some special function in our body. See, vitamins, we all know what vitamins are. These are vital amines. Okay, the name vitamin came from vital amines. Okay, vitamins are naturally contained in food, but a couple of them are also synthesized in our body. So this is very important. All the other part which we have read till now, it comes from the food, but only vitamin is one of the thing which only a couple of them, but yet they are synthesized in our own body. Okay, some vitamins A, D, E and K are fat soluble and can be stored in the body for a longer period of time, but some other B complex containing several vitamins named B1, B2 etc. and C are water soluble and cannot be stored for a longer period of time. See, why so? Why fat soluble vitamins are stored in, can be stored in our body, and water soluble cannot? Because see, fat, the layer that we are getting of fat of adipose tissue inside our cell or inside our skin, it does not get drained out from our body so easily. So in the particular fat molecules or in the particular fat tissues, these particular vitamins can get stored for a longer time. But when it comes to water soluble vitamins, now what happens to water soluble vitamins? We eat that, or it comes into our stomach. Now through our urine or through our bowels movement, what happens? It passed away from our body. Okay, so it is not possible to store this particular water soluble vitamins for a longer time. I hope this is clear up to you. Absence or shortage of vitamins in diets over a continued period causes deficiency diseases. In low concentration, vitamins have a catalytic and regulatory function in cell metabolism. Excess of vitamins may also be harmful. Excess water soluble minerals, vitamins are easily excreted out. Okay, so coming to the last one, that is water. Water is indispensable. About 2/3 of our body weight is water. It serves the following functions. It acts as a solvent in the body for thousands of organic and inorganic substances. It is used to produce digestive juices. It helps in the transportation of digestive food and oxygen throughout the body. The main composition of blood is water, we all know that. It is used for excretion of soluble waste. It is involved in the maintenance of body temperature. Now, loss and replacement. Water is regularly lost from our body through sweat, urine and as water vapor in breath. Therefore, it must be constantly replaced. The liquid we drink and the food we eat, such as fruits and vegetables, supply water to the body. Still, we should drink about 7 to 8 glasses of water daily. So student, please follow this in your particular lifestyle as well. There is another one, table 10.3. This is also very much important. So please learn this very properly. Okay, here vitamins rich in source, chief functions, deficiency disease, everything is tabulated in your particular book, and this is the main benefit of following conscious biology. Okay, here we will be getting fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. Okay, so we have completed up till this. In our next class, we will be continuing with a only small portion left, that is balanced diet, and we will be recapping whatever we have learned in here. Okay, so up till then, please take care of yourself. As I always say, take care of yourself, take care of your family, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy. Lockdown and pandemic situation is going on, so stay inside your house and follow this particular lecture, whatever I am trying to teach you, because see, as this is an online mode of education, so I am trying my level best to make you all understand, so that you can get good marks and you can learn actually things in your life. Okay, otherwise if you see this video, if you do not see this video, I have no problem with that, because I am responsible to teach you all, but now it is up to you whether you are understanding me or whether you are questioning me or whether you are going to learn the chapters, because see, exam is not going to stop. It may be online, it may be offline, but exam is not going to stop. So you all need to study, right? So take care of yourself. Thank you.